You do
Okay,
it.
got it.
All right.
Okay, Parker, you do the intro and everything, and then we'll start with the.
All right. Tell me when you hit record.
Okay, I just did.
All right. Hello. Good afternoon. It is currently 8:51 p.m. Kind of starting the podcast late as our batteries some technical difficulties. But currently 8:51. We currently have Andrew in the house tonight. I have Andrew, Justin, me, Parker, and we have one of the more better storm chasers, or I wouldn't say the greater storm chasers. Can be underrated. Just works very great. Adam Reagan is here. Everyone get a clap for him being here. Um, Thank you for joining the show. And here in a second, we'll let you just kind of take over, give us a little bit of a background. What got you into meteorology, or chasing storms and whatnot, and just kind of give us a little backstory of yourself if you want to. So the floor is yours, Adam.
Well, just one sec.
You're fine.
Forgive me, I'm not used to doing stuff like this.
You're fine. It's completely fine. It's all right, man.
Well, I've been chasing for 11 years now. I got started. Well, what got me into weather was just a few weather events back in my home state of Tennessee. Hailstorm when I was like 7 years old. The superstorm of '93 whenever I was like 9 years old, and an experience with a tornado at the age of 12.
Oh, wow. Beyond. Well, I forgot about the superstorm. That's right. I forgot because I have family that live in Tennessee that went through that.
Yeah, Georgia too.
Grandparents. Yeah, Georgia too. Yeah, exactly. So I guess we'll just kind of start with the questions. I'll go ahead and start first. So have how has your chasing season been this year? If you've gone out, how has it been this year in terms of storms?
My chase season was pretty good, actually. I was on the, sorry, Justin, I was on the Locket Day on April 23rd. I was also, I saw my first Colorado tornado this year on May 23rd.
Awesome.
I really didn't get to go out much this year, but whenever I did go out, I did have some success.
That's good. You know what? And it doesn't. I mean, no matter how much you go out, just sometimes the little things matter. And it's honestly awesome that you got to get that Locket Texas tornado. That's awesome. That was a beautiful tornado. And it's awesome that you got to see that. I guess second question is so out of your 11 years you've been chasing, what has been your favorite year so far?
That's a tough one. I really don't have like a favorite year. I mean, I had some special years. I mean, 2011 was my first time venturing out on the plains. I saw like two EF4s within a 30-minute span. 2013, I didn't get to chase much. I was mostly doing chasecations at that time, but I did get to see Roselle in 2013.
Nice.
2015 was also a special year for me because 2015 was when I moved to Norman.
Mm-hmm.
And 8 days after I moved, I saw, I don't have an accurate count, but May 6, 2015, I saw like several tornadoes that day, including probably the biggest tornado I've seen so far, the Bridge Creek EF3.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Nice. Yeah, that's it. That was another underrated tornado, in my opinion. Is that Bridge Creek EF3? That is another good tornado that is at least lesser known. That's like was honestly a very good one. That's nice. A nice, actually, a lot of good years in my opinion, but I haven't been out that much. But it's good to know that you got a lot of good success over the years. Getting some good years, especially like 2011. That was A year for someone that was insane. But it's good to hear that you had a lot of good years. I think Andrew or Justin has a few questions, so if they want to ask them, go ahead, boys. Too.
Yeah. So, like, where was your first tornado at?
My first tornado was the Good Friday tornado, Murfreesboro, Tennessee, April 10, 2009.
Yep.
Oh.
Same with me. I lived in.
I lived in
And,
Murfreesboro for about 6.5 years before I moved out here.
Oh, nice. Okay. Well, Tennessee peeps in here. So what has I'm trying to see how I want to word this question. What's the most probably underrated tornado that you've seen that you, in your opinion, think it was either stronger or like should be more well known that you've seen in your chasing career so far?
I'm going to be honest with you. Was it Parker who asked me that?
Yeah.
Yes, right here.
Well, I'm going to be honest with you, Parker. I really don't think that. I mean, there have been plenty of tornadoes I've seen in my lifetime that I can't say it doesn't get the respect it deserves. It's just another event comes along shortly afterwards that tends to, like, get more attention.
Yeah. Okay.
Probably one that I could think of off the top of my head was Spearman, Texas, May 22nd, 2015. 2 days before Dodge City.
Yep. I can agree with that. I honestly can agree with both things you said because more times than not, I come to think that that like there isn't, but sometimes there is. So yeah, I totally agree with both answers that you said. That is another good underrated tornado as well. So that's a very good answer, I would say, in terms of me. But yeah, that was a good answer. And Justin, if you have an answer or a question.
Yeah, so what advice would you give to storm chasers who are new to the field?
Well, you're probably going to deal with some BS in the beginning. I mean, if you love it a whole lot, just keep at it.
Nice.
And obviously, what I mean by BS is, okay, if you're into social media, if you was to, like, try to follow every chaser you could find, there tends to be drama involved in the whole thing. Ignore it. Just do your thing.
Yeah, that's been very prevalent over the past few days. I mean, me and Justin I think Justin knows what I'm talking about, but I think most people on Twitter know that's been over the past few days. And I've had to learn to kind of shut my mouth and just watch stories and learn to not have saying things. But that is another good one, is to ignore the very ridiculous drama sometimes that happens on there. So that's a very good piece of advice. Ignoring drama just in general. That's good. That's a good piece. A lot of people should learn off of. So that's good.
Yeah.
There are times I don't follow my own advice, and it tends to, well, for the most part, I stay out of the FU contests that tend to ensue, but just try not to be a part of it.
Exactly. That's
good advice.
Yeah, because I have a tendency to, I wouldn't just say argue, but I have a tendency to want to win a lot of conversations where it's like I seem better. And if I would learn as time goes on to not be like that, so it's kind of a long period. I'll learn to just basically shut my mouth when I need to.
Because you can't convince people on Twitter. It's really difficult to convince people to come to your side.
Exactly.
Twitter, and you're trying to type stuff. Yeah, it's difficult to do that. I've given up on it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that advice could go
Um,
to pretty much
so
anyone watching this, probably.
I agree. A lot of people need to listen to this.
I know.
so Andrew, if you have a question, go ahead. Let you guys go.
Yeah. So what was one of your like least active chase seasons?
Last year,
Yeah.
there just wasn't anything for me to chase that much.
Yeah.
Most of the tornadoes last year was in the
And
south.
like yeah. Like
The East.
maybe one or two of the good events. Yeah, I know the one decent event. I want to say it was May 22nd. I want to say I'm pretty sure it was May 22nd
April.
when you had a few.
It was April
Yeah,
22nd, and
I
I
think it was
wasn't able to
right.
chase that day due to work.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that was the main good chase day. So that was I remember that year was awful. In terms of skating tornadoes. There were some good setups in terms of like just overall. But other than that, it was so that makes sense.
And pretty much the only day that was
And
active
another
was
question for me.
you got it. You got it.
Yeah. So a question from here from me is that is like do you have any good advice in terms of like when you're chasing a storm? Do you have like any good advice for chasers that are have a tendency to maybe go to the wrong storm or whatnot, or like have a tendency to do you have maybe any good advice for them to maybe help them pick the better storm, or like maybe I wouldn't say forecast better, but just know like we're gonna like possibly go on a maybe a day or whatnot.
Well, you see, the problem with that is Mother Nature, I mean, she makes the rules. I mean,
That's
any
true.
day could be like a crapshoot.
Mm-hmm.
I told you about Lockett. That was the northern storm. And rule of thumb is you go after the southern storm because, for the most part, there's clean inflow going in, nothing to interfere with it. It should be the one that produces. And in the case with Lockett, that wasn't the case.
Yeah. That is,
Best advice I could give is just trust your instinct.
Yeah. Justin, if you want to go ahead, or Ranger.
Yeah. So, I don't know if this was already asked, but what was your most not influential, your most memorable weather event that you've ever been in?
Well, like I said, when I was 7 years old, this very strong, severe storm hit my hometown. It was from the same system that the day before produced the Plainfield, Illinois F5. And it caused a major hailstorm that hit my hometown. Baseball sized hail, 70-mile-per-hour winds. My grandpa, what he did when the storm hit was he put me on our couch and he put pillows over my head. I didn't see what was going on. But once the storm was over and it was safe for me to get off that couch, I took a look around my backyard. Trees were down all over the place. The house that I grew up in, several windows got blown out, lost some roof shingles.
Yeah.
The next day, we took a trip through town and we saw homes and businesses they were just, damaged. It was,
Wow.
yeah, it had a bit of an impact on me at a young age.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can
Okay.
kind of relate to that. Like last year, we had a derecho come through with like about 75-mile-an-hour winds, and there was like I think it was golf ball sized hail, not as big, but it was coming in horizontally and just started blowing windows out.
Man, I mean, and people think that, oh yeah, golf balls. You don't think that they would quote unquote do much damage, but especially when going horizontally and the 75-mile-an-hour winds. I mean, that's just in itself is powerful. Um, but
I've
yeah,
been hit with golf balls before. It doesn't feel good.
Yeah,
No,
yeah, yeah,
they can hurt.
I'd say it was more about that big of hail.
mm-hmm,
It's bigger
Yeah, it's a
than
good
a golf
size.
ball.
yeah.
It's kind of between golf ball and baseball. They hurt
Right.
because I got hit by one in the arm.
Yeah, me too. They do hurt. They hurt a lot,
Mm-hmm.
actually.
Yeah, and people think you can just go
Yeah.
run around in a
Remember,
hailstorm. I've seen them do it.
No, it's like pieces of ice.
people think that most people know, unless they live on the plains, but let's say like you live in like the northeast, most northeast storms don't produce anything more than maybe quarters or in between that. But other than that, I mean, you're not used to seeing baseballs or softballs, coming out of the sky on little mini ice balls like that. So they can like, oh yeah, quarters of hail, oh you can run on it. You shouldn't. But yeah, that's I think this person. I think that's why most people think it that way because they're not used to like, oh yeah, like But yeah, so that's just my reasoning behind that.
Yeah, most people think tornadoes is the only kind of weather that can hurt you.
Yeah, people tend to forget the damage you went there that also comes even like with a tornadic supercell
Yeah,
that is producing a tornado. Like especially another good point. From what that is, the Tuscaloosa. No, it's the Cordova. For that's another good storm that also is producing baseballs. And I think 75-mile-an-hour winds as well.
Yeah,
Don't quote me on that. Somewhere around there. And while it's already was destroying these towns, it was also producing heavy flash flooding, massive hail, and then you had the winter on top of that. But yeah, overall, it's just anything weather can uh, hurt you or could kill you. You damage to any source. So yeah.
Yeah.
Another question that'll come from me towards is what I gotta think about it. What is the largest hail size that you've seen in your years of chasing?
I've seen a few tennis balls, but that's about it. I try to avoid the big hail.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like dealing with insurance companies,
Oh yeah.
and I also value my chase vehicle too much to like put dents into it and pretty much turn it into like a
Yeah.
surface of the moon, like Reed Timmer has with his Subaru.
Yeah.
That is. Well, like I've always wanted to do that to a car. I also don't want to deal with all the BS that's included with doing that. All the insurance claims and a lot of stupid stuff. Well, not stupid, but just agonizing stuff. So
Yeah, it's pretty unnecessary, some of it.
yeah,
yeah. You don't want to be in your car when a
but
hailstorm comes through.
Yeah. Yeah. Kind of like
yeah.
unnecessary damage.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
you can prevent that. Just
So
get a
Andrew,
garage or
Justin, you guys
carport.
yeah. So Andrew, Justin, if you guys want to go ahead.
Yeah. So, what is the biggest snowfall totals you've seen?
$18 inches from the superstorm of '93. I thought that with the snow event here in Norman back in February, I thought that might have surpassed that, but it never did.
Right.
Yeah.
I was hearing about that. How a lot of the snow totals in parts of Texas and Oklahoma were less than what they were anticipating from that system. I don't know what
Yeah.
caused it, but
Yeah, I think
I heard about
I
that.
think Norman area got down to like negative below zero during
Yeah,
that,
extremely cold. Yeah, very cold.
which I actually have never seen Oklahoma below zero.
I think that was a bigger story than the snow, was the cold for sure.
And ice in Texas, of course.
Yeah, well, that too. Yeah, locations
Yeah.
that don't get it
I
too
want
often.
to. Yeah, I want to say it was. I don't think it was normal, but some places in Oklahoma hit below. I want to say they think -5 at one point. Was the lowest temperature reading they got.
I
Other
think
than
that was
that, I mean,
OKC.
still negatives in Oklahoma. Yeah, negatives in Oklahoma is. I don't think it was ever really seen before. Maybe it has was a few times, but
I think it was a few
Yeah,
times before.
I'm,
mhm.
I'm sure.
A few
Yeah.
times.
But yeah. Another question by me. Um, so with uh, what what is what is your favorite car? Well, like, what would be your dream like chasing car in terms of like if you could like add everything?
Well, I'm pretty basic when it comes to like, stuff in my chase vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
I don't chase with a whole lot, just, my camera equipment, my smartphone. That's about it. I'll keep my laptop with me in case, I get something that's worth sending in. I do have a media broker.
Okay.
But as far as what type of vehicle, I mean, I drive a Nissan Xterra, and
That's good.
it's been the best vehicle that I've had so far.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, if I
Because
had a chase
I've
vehicle, I'd have to put a hell cage on it if I had to go into the cores.
Your nail cage. I'm kidding. That's yeah. I've heard some good reviews about Nissans. Because I myself have been looking for a vehicle to start saving up for. I'm really on the hitch between a Toyota, Hyundai, or a Nissan. I just don't quite know yet.
Just avoid a Jeep.
Yeah, yeah. 'Cause we used to have a
I've
Jeep
heard bad things about Jeeps. One of my chase partners, he
yeah,
used to own a Jeep Cherokee, and like it shorted out on him.
Oh,
mm-hmm. Yeah, and our parents had a Jeep Cherokee, but it's a diesel instead. It was a diesel, and it was horrible. I mean, they got there, I saw 3 years out of it, and then they eventually were putting more money into the vehicle than they originally purchased it. So it was horrible.
Yeah, Jeeps aren't that good, really, at holding up.
yeah.
Well, it's like yeah.
We had ours for
So
like
yeah,
3 years,
that's what I.
and they died.
Mm-hmm. And so, some of the gas mileage on Jeeps are horrible. They're not bad, but it's just you could do better.
Yeah,
Um,
if you want to chase
that's
with good gas mileage,
well, and then after that, you just want a good gas, a good sized tank. Because I mean, if you could, you know, it's awesome. So, because I have a friend who's 2021 who chases and he has but he gets like almost I think like 34, 35 miles per gallon. So he got it pretty cheap, but he had a car that he turned in for. But anyways, that's kind of off topic. My bad, off topic there. But if that's in you guys got another question, feel free to ask it.
hey Parker,
No, not really. I don't really have any questions.
I
Not
got
yet.
one for you, Parker.
Oh,
Yes.
How many funnel clouds did you see the other day in Indiana? I saw you saw
Oh,
at least
funnel
one.
clouds. I saw the first one, and then we intercepted a storm that was up to the north. Um, I didn't. It was decaying, so I didn't get to see one. I know I for sure saw three. We blasted back south, and I saw two on the souls to south of Marion. One almost touched the ground. One was like probably 40 feet from touching the ground, but then it dissipated shortly afterwards. And then the other one was pretty high based one. But other than that, I saw three, so they all were pretty nice. The first one I was pretty mad at, like, because I saw it was like it was a street down from where I live right now. It was where the funnel went over because I have it on. It was on my neighbor's camera they have outside, and you could see it come by. And I was like kind of looking around. So, but I saw three, so it wasn't that bad.
Yeah. So I got one for Adam. Do you recommend Oklahoma as a school to go to for meteorology? Or do you recommend like smaller schools to go to?
That was my question.
Well, I heard OU's the best school when it comes to meteorology. I mean, if you live in Dixie Alley, look into Mississippi State. I mean, I didn't go to school myself. So I really don't. I mean, I know that OU's like, from what I heard, is like the best meteorology school. But crap. He got me on that one.
Yeah, I've heard some good things about Western Kentucky University in Bowling Green, Kentucky.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. I don't know, because I'm definitely doing a tier call. I'm definitely going to college at DePage for 2 years, just to kind of shorten. Then I've been thinking about going to Texas A&M. It's just very expensive, but I'm just gonna bite the bullet. I would go to OU, but that is like off my charts for sure. I'm probably gonna end up going to Texas A&M because they have a very good meteorology program there as well. So
yeah,
which is my place I would go.
There's one in Indiana, I think, Valparaiso.
Yeah, Valparaiso, but that's a private university.
Yeah.
I'm not going to get into that.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. Yeah, it's pretty expensive.
A friend of mine took meteorology at Valpo before she switched over to geoscience.
Mm-hmm. And Valpo, it's very good. It's a private school, so you have to like, I'm going to flat out say it. I'm not going to be able to go to a private school like that. So, yeah.
I'm sorry I couldn't give you a clear-cut answer to that one. It's just, I've never been to college.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Yes,
I mean,
understandable.
it seems like, and sometimes you don't have to go to college to learn.
I was just about to say that. Yeah.
Most people do, but I've seen plenty of
who don't, and they're pretty good.
Yeah.
They have more knowledge than some who go.
Well, not only that, but I do know of some great meteorologists who didn't attend OU. So it's not like, I want to single out OU as being like the greatest meteorology school of all time.
Right.
I can't say that.
Yes, completely.
It's something that I really don't like giving an endorsement on.
Right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Justin, anything?
I had a question.
Okay.
But I can't remember it.
Rip.
I know it. I short circuit. I can't remember.
That's okay. So another I just forgot mine too. God, son of a. Anyway, sorry.
This is. I don't know what's. I have like brain fog or something.
Yeah.
Typically, I can ask questions pretty well. I don't know what's happening tonight.
I forgot my question.
I
Oh,
have,
Just
I have
tell you, I
insomnia.
forget my questions half the time doing these.
Yeah.
I'm having brain fogs on the answers, so I'm not doing better.
yeah, it's all good.
Okay.
We all. Um, trying to. Okay, so what? I don't know. I don't know how many states you've been to, but what is your favorite state to chase in, or what has been your favorite state to chase in so far?
Kansas.
Yeah. Okay.
Although I do like chasing in the Texas Panhandle.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's nice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, those areas are pretty flat. Kansas is a pretty flat state. I think Kansas is just flat.
Yeah, as opposed to chasing in Dixie. That's terrible
Yeah.
here.
Oh, randomly here you'll go over a big
Awful.
hill. Next thing you know, a big
Mhm.
tornado on you.
Imagine chasing in Georgia. So many freaking trees, and it's just insane what we have here.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't.
I used to
picture it,
cut my
actually.
teeth in Dixie. I don't want to do that again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I I can't wait. I don't know why. There's something about chasing dicks though. Like I know it's very dangerous. From the
I think it's
like,
the unexpected
yeah,
of it
it's
all
like
because you never know what's going to happen in Dixie.
Mhm.
Well,
And it's like I like
those storms are going about 80 miles an hour. They're usually high
That too.
precipitation,
Rain raft.
and they're usually
Yeah, the
in very
precipitable.
treed areas in the woods.
Yeah. Yeah. Have to be
Road
careful.
networks down there are terrible.
Hmm
that too.
You
Yeah.
can
That too.
inadvertently drive into the tornado and not know it.
Hmm. Especially Mississippi and parts of like Alabama where I've chased. It's terrible.
Yeah,
Really
one of my
bad.
friends almost got caught in the Brent Centerville tornado.
One of my friends got drove into an accident. I remember because I was streaming with him and his name's Evan.
Same.
And and we were sitting there in the call with him, and he was showing us, and just because his radar image didn't update yet, and actually parallel with him, but then it started going towards him. So as he was trying to outrun it, he paints the camera over, and right there is just the massive wedge that it was, and eventually he got stuck inside of it, but he made that alive. Thankfully, his car didn't get flipped or anything. So it's good that he's alive. So we always joke about it here and there, but that's just one of an interesting experience that I've
Yeah.
seen with that. So,
Okay, I remember my question.
Dixie's not the best place to chase.
all right.
So, have you ever chased any hurricanes or tropical systems?
Oh yeah.
No, but I would like to at least once in my lifetime.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And going back to the Dixie Alley subject, that would probably be where I would chase first because, of course, I live right in the middle of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
Eastern Arkansas and the Mississippi Delta are like the two best places in Dixie to chase
Yeah.
because that area is flat and no
Right.
trees.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
that Clarksdale tornado.
Getting across the Mississippi River is going to be a bit of a bitch, but it's still doable.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm, for sure.
The Clarksdale tornado in Mississippi in, I think, December of 2015. Yeah, I think it was over in that region, and it was pretty. It was low precip, and it was very flat land. Barely any trees around.
Yeah. Real picturesque.
Yeah. And going back to the one that
Exactly.
hit Murfreesboro, it was pretty low precip for being one in Dixie in April, which is kind of rare for, especially Tennessee.
Mm-hmm.
Most Tennessee tornadoes are very high precip, and there's hail on the, like, it's just a mess.
Yeah, the rain wrapped and you can't see them, and it really is a mess.
Oh yeah, and
It makes it that much
usually
difficult.
produce because the warm front doesn't make it that far north usually.
Yeah. Oh,
Well,
yeah, that's the big
Warford
issue.
doesn't
too.
make it, and then
Yeah, that was one of those rare days in which you had like a plains tornado in Dixie.
Right, right.
And it was the only
Right.
strong tornado in Tennessee that day. Well, in Middle Tennessee.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Before Cookville, it was the last violent tornado to hit Middle Tennessee.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Which I remember I saw the Cookville damage almost firsthand because I used to have a grandma that lived in Cookville. Well, at least she did as of last year before she moved here with us. But and her house was like not even half a mile from the main um so the tornado in her house was completely, aside from some siding and a some shingles being blown off her house was fine. It was incredible. And you go down like a quarter of a mile, a quarter or half a mile, and then there's just massive destruction of a few almost slab houses, which that was first time seeing that. I'm still surprised how it was rated so low in my opinion, but that's just me. But I remember seeing that damage firsthand. It was nuts.
Imagine if
Seeing
that
that.
thing peaked over like Tennessee Tech University.
No, I know.
Ugh.
That'd
And
be
then my
crazy.
sister at the time my sister lived in Brentwood at the time of the Nashville tornado, and she was like about a mile and a half from it as well. So very close encounters for both of them. So,
Yeah.
I don't think anyone thought the Nashville and Cookville tornadoes were going to happen that day. It was a slight risk. The 5% was over in Missouri
I don't
mainly.
think so.
well,
That was really
can't say it was
unexpected.
unexpected, but it shows to go how crazy you give. They weren't even in a great environment. They just supercells sometimes can have the ability to I wouldn't say create the environment, but enhance their environment. And that's just a good show of what those trainers can do easily. So,
And it was just that one supercell, which was pretty impressive.
which I remember because at the time I was live streaming before 13 and I saw that same supercell track over and I thought, oh yeah, which was going to die off because the daytime thing was going to go off and it was going to turn to MCS, but eventually it didn't. But I saw it would put down like a few tornadoes, like very tornadoes here and there throughout its life cycle before it reached Nashville and put the 3 down there. But that's just it's incredible how these storms sometimes can just take the very little of their environment and go boom. Essentially,
You really don't need much
that's what
in
the thing does.
Tennessee.
So,
You really don't need much in
exactly.
Tennessee. I mean, if you was to have like
Mhm.
storm relative helicity over 500 at 1 kilometer and just the smallest bit of cape, that's when you need to watch out.
Exactly. Because I want to got a few. There were a few events where it was low cape high shear, and then it went. I wouldn't say ballistic, but it produced a lot of decent tornadoes. I know one of them last year was the it was a 10% day in throughout southern Georgia. I know there was I think an EF3 or an EF2 that went through just south of
Jacksonville?
what is it? Not Jacksonville. It was in Georgia. It was near
St. Mary?
well, there was the first one that went through Dauphin, Alabama. There was a supercell that later produced a big, like I think, stovepipe cone that moved through.
Oh, yeah, I know.
You know what I'm talking
Yeah.
about?
Yeah, I
It was
know.
near.
Yeah,
It was near a lake.
I just kind of went blank, but yeah.
Yeah, it was near a lake in southern Georgia, and it produced like I think I'm pretty sure it's like an EF. It was an EF3 155, I think, something like that. Anyways, but yeah, it just goes to show you don't need much really to you at least get a decent tornado set up.
On January 30th, 2013, there was a QLCS that moved through Middle Tennessee. It was like the set that I talked about.
Mhm.
Very high storm relative helicity, maybe like 100 joules per kilogram of cape.
Yeah.
When that QLCS moved through Middle Tennessee in the middle of the night, it produced over 20 tornadoes.
I remember that.
Yep.
Wow.
That was one of the rare times that I had to take shelter.
Mm.
Yeah, there was another QLCS that did it earlier this year, I think. Like in May. The
Yeah.
same outbreak from Tupelo. It was a QLCS,
Yeah.
I think, produced about
Mhm.
12 or 13 tornadoes in Tennessee, Middle Tennessee specifically. And I mean, they were all
Mhm.
low rated, but still pretty
Yeah,
impressive.
they were able to produce.
That day was a marginal risk.
Mm-hmm.
I knew
And
something was
another
up when
good
the sky
example of a
turned green.
supercell.
It was just the
Yeah.
hailstones.
And another good example of a supercell. Well, of course, it's in Dixie that was that actually basically created some environment to produce one was, of course, the year 3 in Alabama this year. I think back in January that happened. It was the
Fultondale.
yeah, and it essentially it produced its own shear profile, and that's what kind of made it go boom for a little bit. Remember, I put down the decent sized stovepipe and moved through just north of Birmingham. So that's another good example. But anyway, sorry, can I go off topic here? But I don't know if Justin has remembered his question or not. But if you have, go ahead and ask if you want to.
Yeah. No, I can't remember it. I don't know what happened. I can't remember
Yeah,
the
Parker.
question.
Yes.
There was a lot.
Whatever's on your mind.
Okay.
There was a
I
lot of
think
tornadoes
I
this year
think
that have gone unwarned. I don't understand that, really.
I can say on a perspective because I was in Michigan that one, and I want to say it was June 20. Let me see. I was in Michigan that day, and every storm was rotating. I remember being in front. There was a line of just like even almost the cumulus clouds were rotating. It's like as soon as the storms went up, it automatically were just hooking, and that's what happens when you get photos that curved. But it's like I can see because like it looks like one of the storms, especially on a day like that, because you were looking at both. You had the supercells in front of that, but then you had some of the quick spin ups behind that or in the line. So it was like it was a total thing, and some offices can drop the ball sometimes. I do think they did a little bit, but in their respect, we don't know what goes on within that service. We don't know we know the warning criteria. We don't know what the process is. It very well could have been one of them was they all were focusing on something, or they were looking at the environment because they also have to calculate the watches. Like they have to coordinate the watches and Norman as well. This and that. So it's a combination of things that was going on, and that sometimes it's just they can drop the ball, and that's what happened. So
Yeah, but in the case
that's
of like
you know
Memphis, they just blocked people that they thought were wrong. I think.
yeah. Yeah, it was I didn't like that. I thought that was really immature
that was
to just block people like that. I mean, some questions were pretty rude, but then there were some that were legitimately asking pretty well crafted questions.
I did.
And
I
they,
did to that guy,
and
the warning coordinator in Memphis, and he was very nice about it. He gave me a good answer.
it's good. Yeah. I mean, I think you're justified in asking, expressing your concern about something, a shortcoming from, a particular office or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's pretty immature to, use your status as a meteorologist to kind of, talk down to someone and deny them the right to, have their question answered
Yeah, and like if you
about
don't agree
something like,
with them, they just should have said like, we can't see this from our perspective, but from your perspective, you can see
yeah,
that, or something like that.
yeah, but you don't have to be arrogant in your response. So I think that's what kind of turns people off and gives them a negative view
I think that's why
of
they
certain
did that.
offices when you have your meteorologists who are kind of being arrogant and using their status to show their arrogance. It's not right.
Yeah.
And it's like that day. I don't quite think they were expecting that storm to wrap up as fast and put down trails as much as fast as it did. Still doesn't kind of because that there's questionable what they did. That day why they didn't warn it, but I'm not gonna bash them. Like, listen, it happened once. They still have their job to do. They still have thousands of things to worry about other than just one tornado to put down. I mean, in the future they're going to have to deal with God knows what. So I mean, the sun still rises and sets. I mean, it's not the end of the world. Granted, should it happen? No, but like we said, well, make mistakes and shit happens. So.
But I mean, there's a lot of National Weather Service offices that warn every storm that they see, and then people just turn off and say, "Oh, it's not going to happen," because they always get wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
it's a tricky business.
So really, there's no right or wrong answer, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just like Pico saying has said the past. Damn if they do, damn if they don't. So, like, I know a lot of people have gotten mad at National Reserves Indianapolis for not warning excessive storms, but meteorologists also know the kind of environment where a storm could be rotating, but it's almost never a tornado because you don't have enough let's out this and that, So there's also a number of reasons why they don't warn certain storms, because it may look like they're rotating, but it's never drop a warning of some sort. So, yeah. Anyways, enough straying away from.
Yes.
I don't know the point. This is just. So.
Parker, do you remember your question from earlier that you cannot remember?
Just give me. No, I don't remember it. I'll
ask. All
right, go ahead.
I'll ask something pretty minuscule, but what is your favorite season? Like favorite season. Is it winter? What favorite type of weather? Is it winter weather, tropical, severe? What's your favorite?
Severe.
Okay. What's your least favorite?
After February and winter.
All right.
Right.
I agree with that.
Yeah, winter weather.
Yeah.
I lost a week's pay because of that winter storm.
Wow.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
Most people don't know this, but I almost like winter weather more than severe weather because I just have always liked snow and stuff because it's fun. So.
Yeah.
And I just naturally I like cold. So.
Me too. I don't get
different
snow
strokes
enough.
for different folks.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right.
That's how it is.
Right.
Yeah.
I still love I'll take severe weather any day, but like when it comes to wintertime, I'll miss snow. And for the past few years, we haven't had like a very big snows like we used to have, and we got one this year finally, and it was like great. But anyways, so
I like tracking severe weather way more than anything because I think it's just fascinating. Like you can see like where the debris is being lofted in the air using correlation coefficient.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can see the way the winds are turning with velocities.
Yeah,
it's much more interesting because like you just said, there's so many variations.
Yeah, and
different
it's like for me,
yeah.
I love going in depth and learning about like the forecasting part, like learning soundings, just going to the more technical part. Because I love chasing and stuff. Like it's also interesting seeing, how like a parcel can affect, how cape or how sheer everybody
the science behind it.
Science behind it, especially if they're just learning on my own. Watching videos and stuff is very interesting. I like that part. Like I like chasing more, of course. But it just adds a fun perspective because, like, I like I like to use CM1 a lot, and just kind of like pick up my own sounding and make like a massive storm or whatnot. So, but anyways, yeah, I just love the scientific part about it. So
yeah, that's what turns me off of tropical weather. You can't see, and I just noticed what it sounds like.
You know what? We're just gonna we're gonna keep rolling. Anyways,
let's just keep going.
Yeah.
Anyways, and see, tropical weather. I like tropical weather because you can still see it, but it's just we don't tend to notice how large these storms can be until that's what I like the most. Like for instance, Felicia is a good example of. There goes Andrew. But it's just a good example of how like for Felicia, how it was a small storm, but as went over 26 Celsius waters, small hurricanes, especially powerful ones, tend to tend to last longer over colder waters because they're not very much upwelling, and small storms tend to take warmer sea surface temperatures with them. So overall, the kinematics behind storms and fire, this and that is cool, but yeah.
I really don't have a favorite type of weather to track, really. They're all interesting in their own ways.
Same. Yeah. I was just going to say, it's like I don't really have a favorite type. It's February, so it's mostly winter, so you just track that. If it's August, it's, tropical season most of the time, down here anyway. So you track that. So I don't really have a favorite season. I just go with the months. the seasons.
Unless you live in Georgia and like, don't see a winter ever. That was it. Don't shade at
Yeah, yeah, I won't even go into that. I'll probably rant for about
yeah, no.
because we missed so many winter storms here. It's amazing. Like this past one in February, we missed it. I won't cry. 25 degrees and rain. I'm still yeah.
So, do you guys have any more questions?
I think
for Adam here.
There, Parker.
Yep.
Yeah,
So,
I'm good.
thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you, Adam, so much for coming on the show. It was awesome having you. It will be awesome having you on in the future again. Maybe next year, if you're posting your season. Thank you for joining, and it's awesome. So, I see you guys next time.